The Bodhisattva of boundless will arose from his seat, bared his right shoulder, turned towards the Buddha with joined palms, and asked,
World-honored one, we yearn to know why the Bodhisattva Avalokitasvara is called. He who hears and heeds the sounds of the world is titled thus.
Virtuous son, if a multitude of distressed sentient beings, ensnared in myriad sorrows, cry out with one heart the name of Avalokitasvara, the Bodhisattva will heed their cries and release them from suffering. If those who uphold Avalokitasvara's name were thrown into a raging inferno, they would, by the astonishing power of the Bodhisattva, be immune from the flames. And if swept away by turbulent tides, they would reach the shallows. Likewise, whenever the many who cross the oceans in search of a fortune in gold, silver, red coral, pearls, and precious stones find baneful winds forcing them into perilous or haunted waters, then the whole vessel may be steered to safety if just one among them chants the name of Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva. For these reasons, he is honored as he who hears and heeds the sounds of the world. Furthermore, if soon-to-be victims of violence cry for Avalokitasvara, the attacking blades shall break and leave them uninjured. Should a mighty host of yakshas and rakshasas, vast enough to cover the universe, march forth to torment others, then these fearsome ghosts, upon encountering someone who holds the name of Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva, would be unable to even gaze at them with evil eyes, let alone do any harm. And all who are chained and fettered, whether guilty or not, will be freed and their restraints shattered upon invoking the name of Avalokitasvara. Moreover, say a merchant caravan laden with wealth and goods is about to pass through a perilous path surrounded by hordes of marauders, men with hearts hardened by hatred and grievances. If at that time one of the merchants addressed his peers, "My good fellows, be not afraid, for let us all chant with one heart the name of Avalokitasvara, the one who bestows fearlessness, and be thus freed from these marauders," then the merchants, upon chanting homage to Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva, will be released from all danger and be able to see their goods to safety. The divine powers of Avalokitasvara Mahabodhisattva are ever so glorious. If beings stricken with lust or malice or ignorance often recall the Bodhisattva and cherish his name, they will see their vices recede. Boundless will, Avalokitasvara possesses such bountiful and penetrating spiritual powers. Thus, all beings must keep his name close to their hearts. If a woman wishing for a son prays and makes offerings to Avalokitasvara, she will have a son replete with fortune and wisdom. If she prays for a daughter, she will be blessed with a virtuous daughter of graceful countenance, honored by all. Boundless will, Avalokitasvara has such awe-inspiring powers. Sentient beings who reverently pray to him will have endless good fortune. This is why all must receive and keep the name of Avalokitasvara. Boundless will, say someone faithfully upholds the names of bodhisattvas as numerous as sand grains in 6,200 million Ganges rivers, and offered bed linens, robes, alms food, and medicines to each and every one of them for a lifetime. Would not the merit of such a virtuous man or woman be great?
Certainly, world-honored one.
On the other hand, if someone else who holds only the name of Avalokitasvara bows and makes offerings but once to him, the merit and blessings attained will be equal to that of the previous person. and shall last for all time. Boundless will. The blessings reaped from keeping the name of Avalokitasvara are unlimited and unending.
World-honored one, how does Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva tour the everyday world and minister to the masses? What is his way of preaching?
If the inhabitants of a land must meet a Buddha to be liberated, Avalokitasvara will appear in the form of a Buddha and minister to them. He will manifest as a Paksakabuddha to those who have such affinities, and as an Arhat to those who seek one. If people are to be liberated by the great Brahma King, he will appear as one and preach the Dharma. And if an audience requires the form of the Heavenly Father, he will appear as the Heavenly Father. If beings need to be ministered to by a diva from the heaven of the unburdened, he will appear as one, and likewise manifest as a diva from the greater heaven of the unburdened when required. If a need to appear as a celestial marshal arises, he will do so and preach in that form. If the form of the celestial King Kubera is sought for, he will oblige. The same is true for the forms of princes, elders, householders, magistrates, Brahmins, monks, nuns, lay devotees, consorts, matrons, youthful sons or pure maidens. He will furthermore appear as any god, dragon, yaksha, Gandharva, Asura, Garuda, Kanara, Mahoraga, human or non-human. And for those destined to be liberated by a Vajra god, he will manifest accordingly and preach the Dharma to them as a Vajra god. These are the meritorious deeds of Avalokitasvara. He graces all the lands in myriad different bodies and liberates all. So fail not to single-mindedly make offerings to Avalokitasvara, for it is this Mahabodhisattva who bestows fearlessness in moments of peril. He is known across the Saha world as the one who dispels all dangers and disasters.
World-honored one, I shall now make an offering to Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva.
As he removed his bejeweled livery collar, a treasure equal to 1,000 gold staters, and presented it before Avalokitasvara, he said,
O humane one, please receive this pious offering of pearls, and humane one, please accept this offering out of pity for me.
Being ever humble, the Bodhisattva declined the gift. In response, the Bodhisattva of Boundless will beseeched again,
Humane one, please accept this offering out of pity for me.
You must accept this pious offering out of compassion for boundless will, the four assemblies, and for the gods, dragons, yakshas, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garudas, Kanaras, Mahoragas, humans and non-humans.
Thus, out of compassion for them all, Avalokitasvara Bodhisattva accepted the gift, halved it, and offered a portion each to the Buddha and the myriad jeweled stupa.
Boundless will. Such is the supreme spiritual power of Avalokitasvara, he who is ever present across the entire everyday world.
O world-honored one of wondrous countenance, I now seek once more the origins of this Nera Buddha, the one who hears and heeds the sounds of the world.
Hear the ways of Avalokitasvara, he who manifests in myriad places, has resolve deeper than oceans, he who has waited upon countless Buddhas over endless eons, and kept the great vows of purity. I shall now tell of the miracles granted to those who hear his name, see his person, those who hold his name close to their hearts, for their many sorrows shall all wither into dust. Say the murderous plot to push you into a fiery pit, abide in Avalokitasvara, and the fiery pit will turn into a delightful pond. Or if you are cast adrift in a mighty sea, surrounded by hydras, sea nymphs, and devil whales, abide in Avalokitasvara, and the shallows shall appear. If you are pushed off Mount Meru, abide in Avalokitasvara, and you will float in the void like the sun. Suppose you are pursued by hounds to the edge of the Vajra cliff. Abide in Avalokitasvara, and see not one hair harmed. Or if you are trapped by extortionists, armed and ready to do harm, abide in Avalokitasvara, and see forgiveness and mercy swell in their hearts. Or if you are ensnared in the laws of magistrates and sent to the guillotine, abide in Avalokitasvara, and the blade shall break into pieces. If chained and fettered, then the restraints shall be shattered and liberty regained. If you are victim of the dark arts, of curses and vexes, abide in Avalokitasvara, and the malice shall backfire onto the culprit. And should you meet fearsome rakshasas, venomous basilisks, and other ghosts, abide in Avalokitasvara, and none would dare haunt you. Or if you are circled by ferocious beasts, teeth and claws long and sharp, abide in Avalokitasvara, and see them scatter away in every direction. Cobras and scorpions, toxic vapors and thick smoke, all dissipate when the name of Avalokitasvara resounds in the air. And so too ominous clouds, striking lightning, hail and rainstorms fading before the powers of Avalokitasvara. The multitude of sentient beings, ensnared in myriad sorrows, shall find release in the wondrous wisdom of Avalokitasvara, which alleviates all worldly pains and anxieties. Replete with divine powers, and forever perfecting his wisdom and ease, he manifests in all the lands across the 10 quarters. The manifold states of woe, the hells, ghost realms, and beastly domains, the suffering of birth, old age, illness, and death shall all recede. Heeding purity and truth, heeding the vast body of wisdom, heeding benevolence and compassion, may all forever admire him with resolve and praise. Radiance pure and unblemished, like sagacious solar rays dispelling the darkness, able to tame all disasters from wind to fire, and illume without bounds the whole universe. He is the body of benevolence, with thundering virtue, pouring forth the ambrosia of truth to extinguish the embers of anguish. If you are mired in prosecutions or caught in the throes of battle, abide in Avalokitasvara, and all enmity shall vanish. The wondrous sounds of Avalokitasvara, so pure like serene waves, peerless in this world, who could afford not to keep his name? Cherishing each chant with true faith, the pure and sagely Avalokitasvara is your rock in times of pain and peril. Replete with merit and eyes of benevolence, blessings boundless like the ocean, worthy of reverence.
O world-honored one, anyone able to hear this sermon on the boundless deeds of Avalokitasvara and his universal works of mercy surely has an abundance of merits.
Homage to the greatly compassionate, greatly benevolent Avalokitasvara Mahabodhisattva.